Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here, back again with more good new developments when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 physical releases. There is an update on one already confirmed, and also a massive physical publisher has thrown their hat into the ring as well. Firstly, if you check the links down below, you will see that Sonic Racing Crossworlds has got its release date on Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 version of this game was delayed compared to other consoles. They released in late September last year, but on Nintendo Switch 2 it was pushed back to a later date, which has just been revealed to be March the 26th, and as expected it's a Nintendo Switch 2 edition rather than a bespoke Switch 2 release, which means this Switch 2 cartridge will also be playable on the original Switch sans the upgrades. But what are the upgrades? Well, it appears to be just a performance and a resolution boost. Despite being a slightly older game now, it's still an important one for the Switch 2. When the Switch 2 launched, Sega were all in on the game key. They were well into that. But while we don't have super solid numbers, the consensus seems to be that they sold extremely poorly. People voted with their wallets, and I think that's what made them delay this game on Switch 2 and use a proper cartridge instead. So, if you were waiting for this version to support a proper cartridge and hopefully show Sega that this is what we want, well, now is your time to do it. You can pre-order this Nintendo Switch 2 physical right now with the links down below in the description and pinned comment. I have links to VGP, who will ship it worldwide for free. They are a very nice company, and any purchase made via my link helps support me and this channel in the best way possible. However, I've also linked to Play Asia. Normally, I only do that with import exclusives. However, due to the price of Western games now, buying Japanese copies might be a decent way to save money depending on your situation and if you don't care about which region your games are from. I mean, this will play in English. It will play on Western Switch 2s. It's just about $20 cheaper, not including tax or delivery. And you can get an extra 5% off if you click my Play Asia link and then use my code Jordan2026. Although you will have to wait a couple of weeks extra since that Japanese version is releasing April 10th instead of March 26th. Next up, limited run games. Now, limited run games are, for all their myriad of faults, they are a huge supporter of physical media. They've published well over 300 Switch releases with their numbered releases, plus countless games they've helped with distribution. And now they are throwing their hat into the ring for the Nintendo Switch 2. And, well, look, I see what they were going for. They probably wanted something high profile to start with a bang, but there are two reasons why it's actually a bit of a wet fart of an announcement. Switch 2 physical number 1 for limited run games is High on Life, which, you know, good game from what I've heard, a fairly big name as well. However, literally a couple of months back, they just sent out the Switch physical for those who pre-ordered that one. So they sent out that one that people pre-ordered and then are now opening pre-orders for a better version. That's just bad timing. Secondly, it is not as though the Switch 2 version of this game is anything worth writing home about, because the Switch 2 upgrade is free on the eShop. Yes, if you already have that original Switch physical, you can just go on the eShop and download the free Switch 2 update. This will be more complete on the cartridge. You know, that's cool to have a better version, but it does feel slightly pointless and also cheeky at the same time. And even more fantastically, despite being all about physical releases, they cannot get their marketing clear at the announcement. On the eShop, this is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Basically a Switch game with a Switch 2 upgrade pack. There is no bespoke build for the Nintendo Switch 2. However, nowhere in their announcement have they said anything about this being labeled as a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. They are very clearly indicating it is a bespoke Switch 2 version, which doesn't make any sense, and it's the same confusing marketing that PM Studios have fallen into with Shoot and Order, that Marvelous fell into with Story of Seasons. It's actually a very, very important piece of information, because if it is a Switch 2 edition, that means original Switch owners can still buy it and still play it. That is a huge audience of like 100 million people potentially buying your product. Why would you not mention that? Of course, it could be, in fact, that the developers are planning a bespoke Switch 2 build, since the Switch 2 edition wasn't exactly a winning patch. But, you know, talk about it, tell people so they can make an informed decision. Anyways, you cannot pre-order this yet, but you will be able to on February the 1st, which is a Sunday for some reason. I will bring it up again in my weekly roundup video on Monday when the dates align for it to be included, just so you don't forget. And yeah, if you are new here and you like physical media, don't forget to subscribe, okay? It will be the best thing you do today, I promise. And the bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media and hopefully fix some of the nonsense that they pull. I know it is a small channel, but I do know publishers do watch it. So the bigger it is, the more important it is. So do your bit and subscribe. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.